this video I'm going to be discussing how safe it is in Santiago, Chile. A lot of you guys are wanting to know this. I mean, one of the things that I did before I came to South America was research how safe many of the intended destinations that I had are, right? So Lima, Peru, Santiago, Chile, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Montevideo in Uruguay, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and maybe even some of these other places, right? So of course you guys want to know this information. That's why this video comes about. So Santiago has exceeded my expectations. I mean, I knew it was going to be pretty good because you do a little bit of research online and it says that Santiago is Chile is the wealthiest country in Latin America, and Santiago is the most modern and whatnot. And so there's a lot of information about that. But I didn't fully realize how amazing the city is. And if I could compare it to some of these other American or North American cities, the more I go around here, okay, so I would say it's got a little bit of Los Angeles. And I say that because these towering mountains, also known as the Andes, they're right there. Just the city skyline, which reminds me a lot of Wilshire Boulevard, or anywhere really in the central areas of Los Angeles. But that's about where it stops because it's not on the ocean, so you can't do that. Then it also kind of reminds me of Vancouver, but in order to be Vancouver, it'd have to be on a harbor. But just because of the towering cold peaks and all that, like you get with Whistler and stuff like that. But again, it's a desert and it's inland, so it can't be Vancouver. Kind of like San Diego in a way, with the Spanish, Balboa Park kind of environment. But honestly, it's in a league of its own. You can't really compare it to many North American cities. I mean, in a way, you can almost say its proximity to the ocean and whatnot, and the desert environment with a river similar to Sacramento. So, but then if you go to Europe, you could almost call it like Madrid. It's a lot like Madrid. Way less crowded than Madrid though, thankfully. And so as far as safety goes, literally it's totally comfortable. Whereas in Lima, it was safe, but here it's kind of like really safe. I mean, I'd almost venture to say it's safer than most American cities, North American cities. I mean, in a park in America right now, you would see a lot of, homeless people who sleep outside in North America in parks like this. Here, I don't think I've seen any homeless. So homelessness is not a big thing here. And also, I haven't seen anything that emulates gangs or anything like that. So that's another thing. As far as driving goes, freeway systems are maybe not their strong point. Whoa. That dog came, he was chasing that bird. Yeah, I mean, freeway systems are decent. It's just, for all their infrastructure they have in the cities, the freeways, they're okay. But they've also got a subway system which is among the best in Latin America. And in fact, in terms of everything Latin America, Santiago ranks near the top of everything. I mean, wealth, safety, peace, serenity, the whole nine. So you can see, I mean, just by walking around here, it's safe. As far as using the financial systems, you know, the banks, the ATMs, all totally safe. None of that stuff you get in, you know, Mexico, where you try to use the ATM and they ask you if you want to do these extra things and whatnot. Not a problem here. And let me just show you these roads. Nothing really stands out about anything wrong with the roads, right? Now, the one thing I would say that you might want to keep in mind is earthquakes. This is the earthquake capital of the world. Located on the Ring of Fire. I mean, the most powerful earthquake ever recorded was here in Chile. Even recently there was a really powerful earthquake. But you can see how this kind of reminds you of Vancouver with the Andes and the snow-capped mountains. That's how it is in Vancouver, but instead of there being a harbor, there's no harbor. So, in case you guys are wondering exactly where I'm at, the name of this park, let me get the name for you. The exact name of this park is Parque Araucano. Araucano. I believe I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, the earthquake thing, it's kind of like a part of the living. People are just used to earthquakes out here. But they build these really tall buildings. So they all must be earthquake proof. I mean, this is the church. It is Sunday. Some of the things to do around here, which I'll be highlighting in the video, going to the top of the tallest building in South America, but you can kind of see back over there. Go skiing up here in the Andes. Go to Valparaiso, which is along the coastline, 2 hours away. I'm actually currently taking a hop-on, hop-off bus around Santiago. So it's a pretty good way to see the city, except if you sit on the upper deck, which is where the good views are, in the wintertime, it's cold. Like right now, it's probably about 61, 62 degrees. I left out of Cancun, Mexico, Northern Hemisphere, total summertime. Didn't exactly prepare for this trip because I didn't know I was coming to South America. It was kind of on a whim. So I just haven't been dressed for this climate. Thankfully I had some long sleeves, but no pants. Gotta go get some pants. Especially if I go towards Buenos Aires next, which is even colder here than Santiago. I'd really like to go south to Chiliano, an island. They also have other islands here like Easter Island. Robinson Crusoe Island is a part of Chile. These mountains called, I think they're by Tierra del Fuego in Argentina. It's like a glacier kind of environment down on the southern part near Antarctica. I would say it, but I'd probably get it wrong. It's like Bocos del Torres or something. There's also a town that you would go to get down there is called Punta Arenas. Punta Arenas. I mean, would I recommend coming here in the summertime or the winter time? I don't know if I'd recommend coming here in the winter. Probably, I'd imagine because it's a desert, it could get really hot in the summer too, so maybe the best time to come here is in the fall or in the so in the fall or in the spring would probably be the best time to come here. Winter is okay. It's probably really good for skiing, but I'm also hearing that they're not getting as much snow on the Andes as they happen. If I was to go this way, I could come out onto one of these streets. Still got to go to San Cristobal. Oh, these hotels are fantastic too, by the way. But San Cristobal, you take a cable car to the top. So let's see what else is there. So driving safe, withdrawing information, banking information is safe. Eating the food, not a problem. I mean, the food establishments, the food quality is probably better here than anywhere in the United States. I mean, it seems like it's real food, not like that, like stuff they're feeding us in the United States, which is in abundance, but not necessarily health food. Like the food here, quality, it's like, you know, real food. I mentioned that in a couple of my other videos, is when you eat chicken normally, if it's a real chicken, we don't know what they're feeding us in the United States, but it's stringy. You eat it, it comes out the bone, it's like string. Stringy, fibrous. Nowadays in the United States, you eat chicken, it's not stringy, it's just kind of like nice, it's got a nice texture and everything, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's real chicken. Here, they have that more real food, but bear in mind, a lot of their food is also being imported from the United States. But for some reason, it still seems to be a little bit higher quality. So, and as far as the people here, because they've got money, they're not as, they're a little bit more judgmental. I mean, I know that's not very friendly to say, but it's true. You get the feeling that they're a little bit more judgmental than they are in other countries in Latin America. So, you know, if you do certain things here, you might be looked down upon for that kind of behavior, whereas in other countries like Mexico or even Peru, it's kind of like no big deal. So it's one of those things, but when you're dealing with a first world environment, first world country, you're gonna get that kind of judgmentalness that keeps it so safe, you know, where they don't let as many things slide as they would. That's not a knock on the city. That's not a knock on the city or a knock on the people, but just letting you know, it's not that free, judgment-free place. And also, bear in mind, I've also kind of noticed that some of the older people here kind of have the mindset of, like, I don't know, maybe Che Guevara, old socialism kind of mindset, obviously because that was their generation. I mean, it's very much appears to be a capitalism country, but being that there might be a little bit of resentment towards Americans here, even though you might not directly hear it or know it, it is probably here, and it might be part of some of the things you might feel when you come here. So, and thanks to everyone who watched this video and subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment below asking a question about Chile, and we will see you guys next time on Island Hopper TV.